Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Hey, sometimes the shows just kind of fall into place, and that's what we have today on a Monday afternoon. Hi, everybody. Terry Norvelle sitting here in our wonderful Action Sports Jacks studio. We hope to hear from Patrick Young after his busy week. He is ready to go. Brent Beaird at 5 o'clock. And Patrick, as we welcome everybody to the show, a hellaciously busy weekend we've got to look back. And what about the Monday we've got unfolding? Locally, nationally, Tony Boselli named to the brain trust, if you will. Tony with a legitimate job now as an executive with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll get into that. It looks like the Jaguars have hired a couple, 2, maybe 3 position coaches. A massive NBA trade over the weekend that really stunned everybody. A bunch of college basketball, including the Gators getting blitzed on the road, Patrick. And I saw them losing that game. Maybe not that bad, but I didn't think they were going to win that game. And news out of Tallahassee, it just came down not long ago. Leonard Hamilton will, quote-unquote, resign at the end of the year, which is a nice way of Patrick not having to fire a legend, a real trailblazer, Leonard Hamilton at Florida State. We've got their I don't know if you saw how they lost their game.
That's part of the reason why Florida State sport on the side has been just so nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
You know.
And Pat, I don't know if you saw how they lost their most recent game over the weekend to Boston College. Just a disgraceful finish the last 10 seconds. Man, we've got a lot of stuff, Patrick, to get to. Tony Boselli. I don't know how to react to the news. Tony Boselli now has been named officially like and I may have the title wrong, the executive vice president of player operations, or it's Tony Boselli in the big-time brain trust. He's got a high-level executive job now. He will report to Shad Khan. He'll help make team decisions. The general manager, who is unannounced right now, Patrick, will make those decisions. And the head football coach, Liam Cohen. On the surface, I think Jaguar Nation will be happy that Tony Boselli, one of their own, is in there. There's some pros and there's some cons there. Boy, that's a lot of Indians reporting to the chief. That is a lot of Indians. The head coach, the general manager, Tony Boselli, all reporting to a lot of Indians in that TP there, Patrick. Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Yeah, like Costanza? The opposite. But with three people, head coach, general manager, and the Boselli position, with 3 people going back to Shad Khan, who has the ultimate decision, obviously he's the owner. Unless they all agree, there's going to be a 2-on-1. There's going to be a 2-on-1. So there's a lot of good, I think. Tony Boselli, former player, loves the Jaguars, knows the lay of the land. He knows the history. Tony, and obviously he'll get out of his media work that he does. But Tony, because of his media work over the years, really has the pulse of the Jaguar Nation, right? I mean, he's there every day, and Tony's been a wonderful analyst on Jaguar broadcast, and he hears, he sees, he's at the games. Tony has done local radio for a long time, so there's a lot of positive. I'm going to throw another side out, and it's not negative, but I'm going to say this, Patrick. If it's as easy as just hiring each franchise's Tony Baselli, then everybody would do it. The Cowboys would be winning Super Bowls because Emmitt Smith would be their general manager. And the 49ers would say, hey, Jerry Rice, run our franchise. You're Mr. 49er. And the Patriots would say, Tom, TV's cute, but come win Super Bowls, run our franchise. So it's harder than that. There's much more to it. If it was that easy, the Kansas City Chiefs would have already announced, hey, by the way, in 4 or 5 years, Patrick Mahomes is going to retire from playing, and he's going to be our head coach, and Travis Kelce's going to be our offensive coordinator, and we're never going to lose a Super Bowl. It's not that easy. Yeah. Yeah, it's just not. It's not that easy. You get my point. You probably as well, when you're out and about, I've had this happen 2 or 3 times the last couple of weeks. I've had people come up to me. I had a guy come up to me at Bricks, I swear, and he was as serious. He said, man, before the head coaching hire, man, they need to go get Ben Johnson. They need to then have him bring Mark Brunell as the quarterback's coach. Fred Taylor's on the radio. There's your running backs coach. And I'm just kind of going, dude, there's a lot more to it than that. If that was and I told this guy, I said, well, if it was that easy, Kansas City would never not win a Super Bowl. Like I said, they would just make Mahomes and Kelce and Chris Jones their head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive when they're done playing, and they'd never lose. It's not that easy, Patrick. Not that easy. No. I told her, by the way, let me stop. Forget sports, forget everything. Man, you got a tight-ass, sharp haircut, man. Dude, when'd you get it, man? You look tight. They did a good job, man. They did a good job. What are you, like 29 now? 28, 27? 33. Ooh, that hurts. Ooh, that hurts. Ooh. You got a nice haircut working, though. No? Oh, man. Look. Yeah, have you ever been able to whistle loud without doing your fingers or anything? I haven't. I wish I could do the loud, that. I can't do that. No. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Patrick Young, obviously some of the Jaguar news out. It looks like Matt Edwards will be the defensive line coach by way of the Bills. He was an assistant defensive line coach. And I hope I've got this guy's name right. Tem, T-E-M, Lukabu, linebacker coach, was the assistant linebacker coach with the Panthers. And I do believe, shame on me, I just heard this. I think the Jaguars also have hired a secondary coach. Shame on me, I don't have his name, but Liam Cohen filling out the coaching staff, which he has to do. All right, so a lot of breaking Jaguar news. We'll stay on it. Brent Beaird will join us in the second hour. Patrick Young, Luka Doncic, one of the 5 best players in the NBA, is involved in a weekend. I mean, this is a blockbuster move, man. Patrick, Luka and players go to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, players, and a draft pick. Luka Doncic is 25. He'll turn 26 in August. And I point this out, Patrick. You don't get superstars traded for each other very often. But when you do, Patrick, generally the ages match up. Anthony Davis is like 33 years old. 32, 33 years old. Patrick, what did you... This is a big, big deal in the NBA. Yeah. 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 That's a factor. That's a factor. Really, really. Well, don't you agree? I mean, Luca is one of he is not a good player. He's a great player in his prime. I mean, he is a great player. He looks like a smaller version of Nikola. Nikola Djokovic. Yeah, yeah. He looks like Patrick. I'm telling you, and we disagreed a little bit earlier today, and I dug into this story as much as I could. I'm telling you, everything I read about this trade, it comes back with two things from the Mavericks' point of view. They are so concerned about his not being in great shape. Now he's a great player as he is. They are so tired. They think he has never got himself in shape, and they're really worried about that in his peak years now because of that supermax contract they're going to have to pay him. They think that they didn't come out and say it. It sounds like they think he may eat his way out of the superstar level, and they're scared to death to pay him because, yeah. And I got thinking this morning, Patrick, and I was thinking of different players. And you remember Luka, as he is right now, he's a great player. Now, remember the playoffs and the finals? There were times he looked so winded, you didn't know if he's going to make. He was remember he'd go hide out in the corner and catch his breath during the game, right? But he's still a great player. Great player. And I said, well, who's the equivalent of that? Who can I remember? And you know who came to mind? And he has a nickname, the round mound of rebound. Charles Barkley was a pudgy guy, but I watched his entire career. Auburn, NBA. Charles Barkley was always pudgy, but I never saw him sucking wind and looking like he was about to have a heart attack. I've seen Luka like that many times, and the Mavs, I think. And I think they've asked him, haven't they, Patrick? Hey, man, can you get in a little better shape? You're a great player. There's more there. There's more in the gas tank. If you could just, and maybe he's. Sure. Yeah. 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 That's what I'm talking about. Well said. Yeah. 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 I also read somewhere that the Mavericks, they may be thinking it's a quicker route to the NBA title playing crazy defense. They're supposedly excited by bringing Anthony Davis and Derek Lively. They're putting. Go ahead. Oh. Yeah, I know. I know. But they didn't finish it, and I don't even think they really competed, did they? Didn't they get kind of yeah? They got beat pretty good, right? I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I agree. He whines and cries every trip. But supposedly the the Mavs, Dallas supposedly thinks they're enthralled with if Anthony Davis. Oh, who's that? Oh, that's Riley, looking so cute. Look at that dog. Hey, Alcatraz couldn't hold that dog, let me tell you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's a cute dog, man. Oh. Uh-oh, he's talking. He's talking. Oh, there goes. There goes Riley. There goes. There goes. There goes. There goes Riley. The Mavericks are supposedly really enthralled by going 2 aircraft carriers now. They think Davis next to Lively. They think they got something down low. What do you think about that? Derek Lively, long 7-footer. Anthony, long. Yeah, good player though, isn't he? Athletic as hell. I play the best players. Play the best players. That's what I say. Yeah. Well, speaking of, hey, yeah, yeah. Well, it sounds like they think they're going to be on the court together, like a center power forward, and they think they're going to rough up some people with Twin Towers kind of thing. I don't know. Hey, speaking of Luka, yeah, I know. Yeah. Uh, uh, one more thing about Luka, and the Mavericks obviously front office really concerned about his conditioning and his body and does he take care of himself? Do you realize Luka's out right now? He's missed 27 games this year and they've played 50. He's missed 27 and they've only played 50. Yeah, maybe. Now, Patrick Young, I ask you this question. You got to look in the future. What do you think happens between the marriage of Luka wearing the Showtime and LeBron? LeBron, Luka. Can they get along? Can they get along? Luka, LeBron. Wrong. Nice. Are there enough basketballs there? Yeah. Is Luka basically a big 2 guard, or is he a 3? What? He's a big 2, and LeBron's a power forward, right? He's a power forward. Or point everything, yeah. Who got better? Who's better, Lakers or Mavs now after this? Hard to say, huh? Interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Does this trade happen? LeBron gave his blessing, right? Or do you think LeBron was caught off guard? Really? Ooh. 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 All right, Pat, let's take our first break. We have to talk about. What's the deal with that guy? Does he want to play anymore, or does he hate Miami? He hates Miami. He hates. I know it sounds terrible what's going on there. Just terrible. Oh. All right, Pat, let's take a break here. We got to come back. We can't dodge it. I didn't think Florida would win in Knoxville, but I didn't see that coming. Oh, my goodness, what a game. And we'll try and come back. News out of Tallahassee is that Leonard Hamilton, this will be his final year. He'll play out the string, a couple of games left for the Seminoles, a little over a month. They're not very good. They're not going to any tournaments. The word is that it's been announced, and I'm glad they did this, Patrick. He will resign at the end of the year, so they don't have to fire him. This might have been a year or two late, but the great Leonard Hamilton, and I say that because he was a great trailblazer, and people forget he had success at Miami. He was at Miami. Remember that? He was the Hurricanes coach. And we may have time. When we come back, we may have time to not to rub salt in the wound, but my goodness, FSU, you talk about blowing a 4-point lead over the weekend at Boston College. We'll try and maybe bump back in with that, talk about that. Gator basketball, ugly performance in Knoxville. SEC basketball, it just doesn't stop, man. It heats up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. A lot to get to. Chip Kelly's got a new home officially, all kinds of stuff. And of the 48 offensive coordinator position changes in college football, one of those 48 is not in Gainesville, Florida. Your thoughts on that and a lot more. Patrick Young, Terry Norvelle, and you on the other side. It is the Young Norvelle Show on Action Sports Jacks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
This is the end of game for Florida State Saturday. Up 4. They give up a coast-to-coast missed shot, block, rebound, basket, and then just get the ball in. Win the game. Just get it. No, don't do that. Don't do it. He's not going to make that. Well, he is going to make that. And that's your ball game. Florida State, another tough loss. 13-9 now, 4-7 in the ACC. Patrick, what a tough one. Boston College not very good. Go get a win on the road at Boston College. And, Pat, that's how they lose. News out of Tallahassee today. Leonard Hamilton will resign at the end of the year as the head basketball coach at Florida State. Oh, Pat, that was ugly. That was ugly, Pat. Not good. Not good. I don't think the Florida State basketball job is a very good job. I mean, their facility is average at best. Oh, Pat, I don't know if we got your audio on. Let's hit your audio there. Uh-oh. What'd you do, buddy? What'd you do? What did your dog do? There you go. You sound good now. There you go. I didn't hit the button. It was me. I hit the button. You heard me talk a moment ago. The FSU job, Leonard's going to step aside. FSU will need a men's basketball coach going into next season. I don't think it's a very attractive job. I mean, very little to no tradition. Very, very, very average facility. I just don't. They got to do what a lot of people have to do. They have to take a flyer on a young guy. Hopefully, they pick the right guy from UNC Wilmington or off of Calipari's bench or off the Duke bench, the number 2 guy or something. Yeah. But do you agree it's not a great job? I don't think it's a great job. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, Louisville compared to Louisville it's not even it's apples and oranges. Louisville is a blue blood with great tradition, with a fan base that loves basketball. I think the FSU job's tough, man. It's a tough job. And between Pat Kennedy had it going a little bit early when they went into the ACC, and Leonard was there nearly 20 years, maybe right at 20 years, and he was recruiting to this ACC conference, and he had some spots where he was good, but that's a tough job, man. And I don't know, Patrick, you hear me say this all the time. I'm not sure the administration in Tallahassee wants to be really good in basketball. You got to want Florida wants to be good in basketball. You know what I mean?
Yes, for sure.
They want to be good in basketball. North Carolina, of course, and all these schools. I just don't think the FSU job is that desirable. And they're going to have to take a flyer and hope to hit a home run.
You would have seen in all this time since I've left, since I graduated from Florida, Exact Tech got a renovation.
Yeah.
The strength room has been renovated as well. Yeah. The fan experience is different.
Really good.
And then, there's one more major thing.
Yeah.
That really matters. Gosh. What did they do?
But you're all over it, man.
Well, new coach, obviously a new coach.
Yeah.
Within the 15 years, 2 new coaches in that 15-year time span that I've been out of school. Or a 10-year time span. Let me not age myself even more.
Yeah, definitely. Staying with college basketball, I didn't like Florida's chances to win in Knoxville. I thought they were going to lose that game. I said it multiple times last week. Pat, the sad thing about how bad Florida played Saturday in Knoxville, Patrick, I didn't think Tennessee played that well.
No, they didn't play great.
No. What
Tennessee
was your
didn't play well enough to make me think, oh, gosh, they've arrived. They've got it back. They found the formula. The formula.
Yeah, formula. What was your overview? You watched the game. It was a painfully ugly game. I thought both teams.
The Gators thought tip-off was at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, maybe. And then the secondary story is Walter Clayton. Todd Golden, some stuff I read today, doesn't think it's really serious. It's just a twisted ankle, I think. But, boy, Florida beats Tennessee earlier this year in Gainesville by 30. Tennessee returns the favor in Knoxville and beats Florida by 20. But, again, my biggest concern was I didn't think when Florida beat Tennessee by 30, Florida played a great game. Tennessee beat Florida by 20, and I didn't think Tennessee played good at all. They were missing 2 starters, and I thought they were.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Like, they were missing two, like the point guards. The Kai Ziegler was not playing. How do you mess that up?
Yeah. So Florida, a pretty important game tomorrow. We'll break it down. Florida hosts Vanderbilt. That's a pretty important game now. You don't want this loss to roll into 2 or 3 losses in a row. Florida's at Auburn, the clear number 1 team in the nation.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Vandy is still ranked, but it might be a quad 1.
It could be.
Possible.
They'll probably fall out because they got blitzed by Oklahoma. But that's a big game for Florida. You don't need to lose a second in a row, and then you're heading to Auburn is clearly the best team in the country. Wouldn't you agree with that now? Have you seen enough? Sure. Yeah, they're the best team in the country. The last thing Florida wants to do is go on right here in February, go on a nasty little losing streak, right? And kind of get out of their rhythm, get out of their timing chain,
Yeah.
Tough schedule.
That makes sense.
Tough schedule.
They should not that one to Missouri, man.
Yeah, that hurts. That
one to Missouri.
Who saw?
I think you want to stay at this point of the season to think you really with how well Auburn's playing. You want to try to stay at most 1 game or maybe 2 games behind
them. Yeah. If you can finish the season 2 games behind Auburn in the SEC, if Auburn, it looks like Auburn, they probably won't go undefeated. It's too hard to do that. But it looks like Auburn's a 1, maybe 2-loss conference team. If you finish right behind them, you may grab another number 1 seed. People think Alabama's going to grab one behind Auburn, a 1 seed. You could finish 1 with a number 1 seed. You could. Patrick, I didn't watch 1 dribble because it came on too late, and I did not like Arkansas's chances. What about Calipari and the Razorbacks? How sweet was that for John Calipari to roll into Rupp Arena and get a double-digit win, I think it was, Pat?
Yeah, 2 points, double digits, 2 numbers.
Yeah.
Man, I did not see it coming. A lot of people didn't see it coming, especially with how well Kentucky has been playing. Their style of play, they're fun to watch. They couldn't shoot it well. Arkansas shot it really well. They defended well. That kid Thero, man, he's all energy, man.
Yeah, he was good at Kentucky.
He was good at Kentucky. He's even better at Arkansas.
Yeah.
Even better.
Oh, how sweet was that for Coach Cal? And he handled it pretty good. But behind closed doors, Patrick, how sweet was that for Calipari to go in there? And I don't think they play him in Fayetteville this year. That was one of those one and done.
Really?
Oh, that was a sweet win. Tip of the hat to Auburn. I thought Auburn was going to lose Saturday. They were at Ole Miss. I watched most of that game. Ole Miss made run after run after run at Auburn. And Auburn, when it got within 3 or 4, you know what Auburn did? They made plays.
They just don't have enough juice for me, man. They just don't have enough juice. Ole Miss.
Oh, Ole Miss, yeah.
I don't feel like Ole Miss is one of the 3. They're going to start slow, hit a lull, or just not finish strong. But that kid Padula, Sean Padula, he's been a really good transfer. The white kid with that wears
nice
the
player.
headband.
Nice
player. Janai Broome, man, he's unbelievable.
God, he didn't miss a beat from the ankle. He didn't miss a beat from the ankle. Man, I will say this. Of the Big Four, now we've got pretty much 4 big schools, I think, in the SEC. Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee. I was looking at the rest of the schedule in terms of who plays who of those 4, who still plays each other. Alabama's got the toughest run. Alabama plays Auburn on February 15th. That's a Saturday. They play Tennessee at Tennessee. They play Alabama plays Florida in Tuscaloosa, and then they go to Auburn. So they've got Auburn twice, Tennessee, and Florida. That's Alabama, okay?
Wow.
That's probably the toughest. Auburn, in terms of the Big Four, who do they play? They've got Florida this Saturday, Alabama in Tuscaloosa the following Saturday, and then Alabama at home the last game of the season, regular season. So that's pretty tough. Tennessee, all they have left with regard to Auburn, Bama, or Florida, all Tennessee has left is Bama. They've played Florida, and they've played twice. They've played.
Well, they've lost to Vanderbilt on the road, so
yeah.
No, there's going to be some more losses coming in that there for sure.
And in terms of the Big Four, Florida has still games at Auburn and at Alabama. Florida did not get an easy schedule because other than Tennessee, that's the only one they play home and road. Florida goes that's tough, man. That's tough. Florida has to go to Alabama, to Auburn, and they don't have a return game with Kentucky. They only played Kentucky in Lexington. They don't play them, so Florida got a tough schedule too. But Alabama's got the toughest the rest of the way. You know, Alabama's still sitting there thinking they're going to get a number 1 seed. They still
and they should be. They should be thinking that.
Yeah.
They're really tough, man. I think it's just college basketball. You can't expect them to win every single game and to knock down as many shots as they. But it was really cool to see that how Mark Sears responded after getting benched.
Really did, man. And did you expect anything different? I mean, that guy showed up like a pro. I didn't. He's a baller, man.
Might have expected. I wouldn't have been surprised if I saw him really trying to force it. I wouldn't have been surprised, but then I think that will make Coach Oates get him on the bench again. Like, because then as soon as you get out there and you're just playing for yourself, that is not his style of play. That's not how Coach does it.
Man, the coaches in the SEC basketball? Man, there's a lot of guys I'd like to play for. I'd love to play for Todd Golden. I would love to play for Nate Oates. I would love to play for Mark Pope. I mean, Chris Beard. There's a lot. It's no coincidence, is it, Patrick? The quality of play is better in the SEC across the board. The quality of coaching is big time in the SEC. Those are big time coaches, man.
Absolutely.
Those are big.
But you're right.
Those are big time. Hey, so you're heading up to Charlotte tomorrow, right?
I'm not going this weekend, actually.
Oh, you don't have it this weekend?
I'm not going this week.
Well, stay with us. You can stay. Oh, you need a big hug. You need a hug. You need a hug. Hug.
You're asking for a lot, man.
So anyway, I was going to say.
Do what I can.
Well, then you get to watch basketball. How about tomorrow? Vanderbilt at Florida. Florida needs that game. Florida does not need to lose that game tomorrow. Gators hosting Vanderbilt. How about this one? A couple of reeling teams tomorrow, Patrick. Kentucky is at Ole Miss. Kentucky's lost 3 of the last 4 games, and Ole Miss has lost 4. How about Ole Miss? After knocking off Alabama, Ole Miss has lost 4 of 5.
I know, right? What in the world? Isn't this crazy?
Hey, somebody's going to be struggling that gets a loss tomorrow out of that game, Patrick. Kentucky or Ole Miss. That's a tough loss.
Who needs that win more?
I bet you – I would say Kentucky. Pope's done some good things. He's won that fan base over a little bit. He doesn't need to go on a little skid here at the end.
No, he doesn't. He's won the fan base over to a good
So that's the big games tomorrow in the SEC. Wednesday, Missouri, they had a nice win. They had a nice road win at Mississippi State over the weekend. That was a nice win for Missouri. Missouri is at Tennessee. Tennessee, you better watch out for that game on Wednesday. And LSU at Georgia. That's a game, Patrick, Georgia cannot lose to an LSU if they're trying to sneak in. They got to win those winnable games, right?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Gotta win.
It's just man, it's tough seeing Coach White get so close so many times.
I know.
And just can't get it.
He just can't get over the hump, can he?
Just can't get over the hump, Terry. I'm just like, I feel so bad because he's such a good dude.
And they got beat up pretty good Saturday, right? I can't remember who beat them. They got beat up pretty good. Oklahoma.
Yeah. Who was it? Yeah, I didn't think they had a chance. They were on the road to a ranked team. Like, it's one of those games you know that they were going to lose.
Yeah, they got beat up, which is why they cannot lose to an LSU's got to be a win column. They've got to be in the win column. How about
LSU? They don't have a great record, but they're not slouches, man. They compete.
They're not at all. How about Saturday? How about this for Saturday in the SEC? Florida at Auburn. A&M at Missouri. Both of those teams are having big years. A&M at Missouri. Mississippi State at Georgia. That's a game Georgia's got to win. They've got to win that in Stegman, right? That's Saturday. And here's one for you, Pat. What do you think of this one Saturday? Is this upset alert? Alabama Saturday at Arkansas.
Oh, yeah. Man, it's crazy now. It's like, hey, man, who's this Arkansas team?
Ooh. That's something. That is something. Hey, Casey, if we have it, Pat, as we go to break, I think I found her. And, Casey, we may have it. This, Patrick, is the girl you're looking for. Look. That's at the Waste Management Golf Tournament. You know, they have fun at the Waste Management. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Patrick, we found her. That's the one you got to marry. That's a marrier right there, man. Can you cue that up again, Casey? Watch how confidently she crushes these beers. Look at her. And then she goes into the USA chant.
She is like having the time. Wow.
Look.
She's having the time of her life.
Patrick, that's the one you bring home to mama. Right there. That shot right there. Patrick, look at that.
I don't know if Anita Young or Sarah Young or Robert Young.
Patrick, we got to. Hey, Patrick, we got to get out to that Waste Management Golf Tournament. They have a big. Look at that gallery.
Well, what's crazy, Terry, about that? I don't think they have any. I think what they're going to do is start putting caps on tickets.
Is that right? Out of control.
I think so.
Look at that girl.
They would have 200,000 people out there just drinking their life away.
If that girl better not have bought a beer the rest. Whoa. What is that? Pat, no drinking on the show here. Now, what are you doing? What is that?
This is not a beer commercial.
Is that JU's beer?
No. JU's beer looks like JU's colors. Why would they have a blue and white?
By the way, me and my boys were heading over to the game, but after we watched Florida get whitewashed, nobody wanted to go to any more basketball games. And then what happened to JU?
UNF blitzed them.
How?
It's like JU forgot what the scouting report was.
Is UNF any good?
When they shoot the ball like that, they're as good as anybody in the country.
Don't tell me they have another Chaz Lanier, do
they? They went like 13 of 24 from the three-point line. They hit 12 threes in the first half.
Oh, my.
And that's their average. JU fought really hard and, like, I guess figured out how to play some better defense. They still can't score. They still don't have a great offense.
How was the crowd and all? How was the atmosphere?
Great, really good crowd. Well, they were quiet for a long time.
Yeah. JU was getting beat by like 30 at one point.
Dude, I was like on the with Scott Bacon, the play-by-play guy, and JU's down 21 at this point.
Ooh.
And I'm just like, with like 5-6 minutes left in the first half, and I look at him, I'm like, well, Scott, I'm not sure what else to talk about.
Yes, there's nothing worse than a blowout, man.
Like, it's major hats off to UNF, but JU is not figuring it out. They needed halftime so badly. They needed
what you should have done.
Halftime. The first 4 minutes of the game, they needed halftime.
That's not good, Patrick Young. That's not good. Hey, you know what you should have done when you had nothing left in the tank in the first half? You should have went over and said, Artis, and told the big A-Train, say, Artis, come finish up for me. Is A-Train still over there?
Man, if Artis Gilmore in his prime was on this team,
he's great, man.
Stephon Payne would clean the bottom of his shoes.
Nice. Artis is great, isn't he?
Artist is unbelievable.
The gentle giant.
Having those long arms and those big hands to make it so much easier to palm the basketball.
Yep.
That's a huge benefit.
Hey, I was watching and we'll go to break, I promise, Pat, here in a second. I was watching, it was a documentary, I guess it was on Calipari. And Calipari, one of his first jobs was UMass.
Yep.
And Dr. J went to UMass. Now, he didn't play under Calipari. He was earlier, right? But they're showing at one point, I think this was the documentary. It was this weekend. They're showing Dr. J when he's in the NBA and he's at the All-Star game. And, his famous dunk from almost the free throw line. He takes off and he did that first. He did a long one like Jordan did, right? Dr. J was Jordan before there was Jordan. Right? You know that, right?
Yep.
He was just and they're showing the dunk contest, and Dr. J and the other 4 or 5 participants are on the court. The A-Train's out there. Artist was in the dunk contest.
What?
Big fro, 7'2", long as hell. He was in the dunk contest. A-Train. Wow. Artist freaking Gilmore. What a player.
Artist freaking Gilmore.
What a player, Patrick Young. What a career. Woo. He was in the freaking dunk contest. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. Pat, we'll have I think Brent in the second hour, but if you can wrap up this first hour or stay with us, I don't care. You do anything you want. You're Patrick Young. You know that, right? You're Patrick Young.
Yes, I know that.
But I know it's dinner time, and Patrick, my man gets hungry. He gets hungry. You get hungry, don't you? You get hungry. Hey, who's working Charlotte tomorrow? Do you know?
It's probably just going to be the guys by themselves. It'll just be Ron on Tuesday, and then it'll just be Pat by himself on Wednesday.
Why? They got so many games or something going on? Or
I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works, Terry. I'll just get in front of the camera and smile.
And you do a good job, man.
Logistics.
And you do a good job. Let's take a break. Come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1 here on a Monday. A lot of news, including Tony Baselli now with an official position, front office position with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was announced today. We'll start second hour with Brent Beaird coming up soon and talk about the hypocrisy of this little game called the Super Bowl.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey, Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Hey, show is in studio today. Beautiful afternoon outside Jacksonville, as you see from the sky cam there. Gorgeous. Crystal clear looking day. Not too hot, not too cold. Today in studio. Tomorrow we'll meet you folks. If you're in the area, come down and say hi. We'll be at Hurricane Jewington Creek, our fun place in the heart of Mandarin. Tomorrow, the Young Norvelle Show, 4 to 6 from Hurricane Jewington Creek. I think Pat's still with us. Want to hit a few things Super Bowl related. But before we do that, with this big blockbuster NBA trade, boy, don't you know that the NBA boys would love them some Mavericks-Lakers playoff series. Oh, that would be some fun TV if they got if they lock horns in the playoffs. Lakers, Mavs, and Luka, LeBron, and AD on the other side, and ooh, that'd be a lot of fun. All right, Super Bowl talk. Obviously, Super Bowl week. It'll heat up as the week goes on. $171,000. That is the winner's share. If you're on the roster, on the winning team this Sunday, they're just going to cut you $171, and they should. With the money that this thing makes, the winner's share is $171,000. No matter how big your contract is, no matter what, you're handed $171,000 if you're on the winning Super Bowl team. $96,000 paltry $1,000. $96,000 for the losers. That's the loser's share. Wow. 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 And wow. Super Bowl hypocrisy. This time of year, this always bugs me. Maybe it's not a big deal to anyone else, but it bugs the heck out of me this time of year. The Super Bowl. It's so big, and I understand why the NFL does this. They try to protect their paying advertisers, their actual advertisers, the ones they go out and get and sell television commercials and hospitality and everything that the NFL themselves sell. And they try and protect also that year's broadcast partner, whatever platform it's on. Is it on CBS? Is it on ESPN? Is it on ABC? And blah, 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 blah. I understand it a little bit, but do you realize, and this has probably been a good 20 years, if you're not the official station and the NFL, you're not supposed to say the words Super Bowl. And you're not supposed to, and you'll get a cease and desist letter, and they will probably take you to court, and they send out a lot of cease and desist. For instance, Cox Media Group, the ownership here, these radio stations, streaming channel we're on, television stations. If it's not a year where the Super Bowl's on these networks, right? The sales staff here cannot put a sales package together that says, hey, because, local entities get local avails. So the local people can sell. During the Super Bowl, you go to a 4-minute break. The first 2 are national commercials. And then the second 2 minutes, for instance, go to the local. Patrick, I've always hated the way the NFL, they prevent you from saying Super Bowl. You and I could not put a package together and call it, this is our Super Bowl advertising package. If they found out, they'll send you a cease and desist. How about that? What tips?
It's so dumb because it's free advertisement for them.
And they see it as, we want to protect our partners that are paying the rights to be, right? And they pay a lot of money. And they recoup their money. Here's my issue, Patrick. What has made the Super Bowl what it is? Okay, let's take a list of the owners. You got to give them credit. They own the product, okay? So the Super Bowl has turned into this monster by way of the owners. They own the product, okay? What else has made the Super Bowl this monster that it is? The players, right? The owners, the players. Patrick, let me throw one more thing in there that I think is almost, if not as important as any of the things I just named. The media.
Oh, the media, yeah.
The media has made, they've got a huge part in creating this monster, right? Imagine if there was no media. Sports wouldn't exist. You wouldn't know where the game's at. You wouldn't know when the game is.
You wouldn't care that much.
But they, on the media.
Yeah.
And the media, I hate the way the NFL is a hypocrite. How about this from a hypocrite standpoint, Pat? For years, the NFL, what's the biggest thing the NFL fears, even now?
Gambling, the integrity of the game.
Gambling. Did you say gambling?
Yep.
Yeah. But they're in bed now with the FanDuels and all the gambling sites. Do you know where the game's played at Sunday? Not just
New Orleans.
Not just New Orleans, and not just the Superdome in New Orleans. The Caesars Superdome, as in Caesar's Palace, as in one of the staples of the gambling mecca of the world. How hypocrisy is that? How much the NFL is such a hypocrite in some areas. Caesars is the naming sponsor of the Superdome and has been now for 10 years. It has been now for 10 years.
Well, they saw how much money they get in that, man, and they couldn't resist that without a doubt.
No doubt, man. No doubt. But, man, you're going to get in some trouble if you say, hey, I'm Patrick Young. This is Terry Norvelle. You want to buy some advertising? We got a Super Bowl package here for our show. No. But the media has helped turn this thing into the monster that it is.
I know, right?
They have helped greatly turn it. Now, the owners, the players, I get it. They're instrumental, but
they're instrumental. You can't have one without but you definitely got nothing without the media.
Yeah. I mean, the media
you got nothing
is a huge. Pat, did you hear what I said earlier? This year, winning player, their share, $171,000 winning share, just being on the roster. Losing share, $96,000 each. 96 clams. Woo! That doesn't suck if you can get that kind of work, does it?
It is not.
Man, that is some good lettuce there, my man.
All fighting over a ball for inches on the ground.
Yeah. How about that? Hey, we don't have time. We don't have time to get to this, but Patrick, I always throw this out, just kind of being silly a little bit. Does the Super Bowl halftime always have to be a musical act? Is there some? Will it? 100 years from now, is the Super Bowl halftime show still going to be a popular musician? Can it be anything different? Does it have to be music every single halftime?
No, it doesn't.
It seems like how about a comedy skit? Huh?
I would love that.
How about a skills competition or something? But seriously, you ever think about it? Why does it have to be music every time? I don't know. I don't even, and this is old man, get off my lawn. Obviously, I know Kendrick Lamar. I know the name, and I know he's popular and been around. I don't know one song of Kendrick Lamar. Is he hard rap? Is he mellow? What is he? Kendrick Lamar.
He's West Coast, man.
What is he?
He's a really good rapper.
Is he happy fun rapper? Is he smooth?
He's very smart.
Bedroom eyes rapper? What is he?
He's extremely smart. He's got like a kind of, I'm not gonna say like a mumble voice, but he doesn't have he doesn't have a deep voice.
Okay.
He has this like unique sound with his voice, and he's so smart with how he raps and the things he says. Like he destroyed Drake. He won record of the year.
Okay.
He won 5 Grammys last night.
Wow. Is he gonna get up there? Is he a dancer too, or is he just gonna?
No, he don't dance.
No, he's not.
He'll dance like a little bit, but he ain't. Yeah.
He's not a dancer guy. He's not gonna get up there like Bruno Mars and dance around But he's talented, right? He's real good.
Yes.
And he's a big enough boy for the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
He's a big enough boy. Yeah, because I've heard that name for a long time now. I just don't know any of his work. All right, Pat, let's take a break. We've blazed through hour number 1 here on a Monday. A lot to get to on the other side. We should be joined by Brent Beaird, a lot of college football and basketball. And, Pat, you heard what I teased a little bit. We'll come back with it. But, man, there have been some 48 college football offensive coordinator moves and not one in Gainesville. 48 around college football. But your boy Billy Napier is holding what he's got. 1 down, 1 hour to go. Stay with us here on the Young Norvelle Show on Action Sports Jacks.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream Stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, the big Jaguar news of the day here on a Monday is Tony Boselli has now been officially hired in a upper management executive type position with the decision makers of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So good news for Tony Boselli as we welcome, of course, Patrick Young kicking off the second hour. Brent Beaird joining us. I'm Terry Norvelle. Real quick before we get into college, both of you guys, one concern by putting Boselli in that position is there's probably it's going to go one of three ways probably. Boselli may retire from that position. Boselli may, just walk away for another opportunity, guys. Or you hate to see this because he's kind of a beloved figure here in Jacksonville, obviously, Tony Boselli. Brent, I'll throw it to you first. He may end up getting fired because people at that level get fired in the mean world of the NFL. What were your thoughts, Brent, when you heard Boselli upper management decision-making position?
I mean, from a public relations standpoint, he's about as good as you get. He's a beloved figure, right, guys?
Sure.
In the area. Now, obviously, he won't be. I'm guessing he won't be able to do his analyst job anymore.
No, that'll be over
on the radio. I'm being facetious, but still. But look, he's as logical probably to do it as anyone else is. Look, I'm sure there's a learning curve in a job like that. It's one thing to know the NFL, but it's another thing to really get down to the nuts and bolts, right?
Yeah,
so,
right.
I think he's favorably received and will do okay.
And Patrick and I talked earlier, Pat, just rehashing for our second hour people. There's a lot of pros. There's some cons. One concern I see is, man. And, Pat, you can restate your case. Man, there's a lot of Indians reporting to the big chief. The big chief is Shad Khan. Well, in this situation, your head coach is going to report to Shad Khan to some degree. The soon-to-be-named general manager is going to report to Shad Khan. And then you're bringing Boselli in to give his thoughts and his reports. Pat, boy, that's and three doesn't divide real well. If they're all in agreement, that's one thing, but there's going to be some 2-on-1 there at some point.
There's a lot of egos are going to have to be, pushed down, and trust and guys just making sure they remember they're on the same team, even when decisions get made that they might not have agreed with. That's being a professional.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't ever get to, dividing up where Shad Khan, because that'd be weird. Shad Khan trusts this guy more than the other coaches. That's just weird. Dynamic. I agree. So we'll see, man. But it's nice that I think these three new faces, Indians, as we're saying, they're all wanting to do a great job. Their intentions behind it and turn this thing around.
Well, that's also some youth. There's a lot of youth in that position. You know, Baselli's the old guard of the three, and he's 52. I mean,
Oh, wow.
you know,
Yeah.
there's some youth there.
Now I'm curious about this, guys. Do we know the answer to this yet? Now, is Baselli going to be involved with individual players, personnel, or is he going to be kind of the guy that if they're struggling in some area, that he's going to be the face to the public, that everything's going to be okay?
I don't have it in front of me. I've seen a list of duties, kind of, and it was kind of a catch-all. I don't think he's not on-field coaching. But no, it sounded like a little bit of everything, and you know, probably where he feels comfortable and where Con wants to put him. I do caution fans, though, if it was as easy as just naming your most public former player, if it was that easy, then the Dallas Cowboys would have put Emmett as their general manager and never lost a game, and Jerry Rice would have been the 49ers general manager, and they'd have won 20 more Super Bowls. And if it's that easy, you just cut a deal with Pat Mahomes, Kelsey, and Chris Jones and say, when you're done playing, you're my head coach, you're my OC, you're my it's not that easy. It's just not that easy. It might turn out.
Peyton Manning would be running the Broncos so fast.
Yeah. And they'd never lose. Brent, Patrick, and I spent. We may have even led the show off with the had to happen Leonard Hamilton news that Florida State they did the right thing. They have said Leonard Hamilton will resign. That's a little bit to save face, but I think we all know that's a firing, basically. A respectful firing had to happen, probably, and I like Leonard, but it's probably a couple years too late, wouldn't you say?
Yes, because they've been very similar the last 2 or 3 years. If he goes out 3 years ago, it would probably be a lot easier. Now, I'm curious about something. Did you guys see in this the word retirement? I saw the word resign.
Yeah, I saw resign. I just
assumed. Does this mean he is he's going to be traveling and enjoying the good life and retiring, or is he going to be looking for another job? I believe the press conference is tomorrow. I will be interested in what the future holds for him. Is that an interesting question?
It is, and Pat and I kicked it around too, Brent, just from a brass taxes standpoint. The FSU basketball job's not a very good job. I mean, Pat Kennedy drove that ship when they were getting in the ACC, and he had some success here and there. And then Hamilton's been there almost 20 years. He's had that big bad ACC conference behind him. And they really saved for a couple years here and there, and he recruited pretty well. He hit on some foreign kids. Brent, the facility's not very good, and I just don't think FSU cares big time about being good in basketball.
And that's a real problem with that, too. Now, I do remember, help me on this, Pat. A few years ago, they had some real length. They played defense really well. Yeah. And they were a Sweet 16 type of team, correct? Do you remember that?
You're right. Absolutely. Do I ever?
And he had that. Remember, Patrick, Leonard had that 5-year run where he was grabbing 5-star All-American high school Dwayne Bacon and Jonathan Isaacs, and he was bringing in Malik, who was the Beasley kid. They brought in they brought a Beasley kid in. He brought in, and then he struck gold on some of these foreign kids that came over, like Brent said. Remember, he would have 3 7-2, 7-3 guys on his roster.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how did he get guys that big?
Remember, he'd go get those European guys. He'd have 2 or 3 guys, and 1 or 2 of them could play a little bit. One of them might have been a stiff, and couldn't really walk. But a shame. I've always liked Leonard Hamilton. I've always liked him, but it's time. And I don't know. They Florida State basketball, they'll go hire a little bit like the Jaguars hiring. They gotta hopefully they find a young diamond in the rough, because the established guys aren't applying for Florida State basketball job. You know what I mean? They don't get the Caliparis and guys like that are established. They got to take a flyer on a young guy that they hit a home run on and get lucky a little bit. Brent, I saw Florida losing to Tennessee. I picked Florida to lose all last week. I didn't see that coming. One thing that Patrick and I talked about, and I want you to comment, Brent, not only was Florida just totally outmanned, they got beat by 20 in Knoxville Saturday. Neither Pat nor myself, I don't think Tennessee played very well. They were missing 2 starters. That's how bad Florida was. I don't think the Vols played a very good game.
The thing that
they won by 20.
They did. That was a 50-point turnaround. Florida wins by 30. I mean, that's amazing in it, guy. But you know what? That's the SEC. I mean, Pat talked about this on Tuesday, Wednesday night. With Ron Slay or the shooter, whoever is there. But I tell you what, the thing, and I'm interested in what Pat saw with this. Man alive, you know, Tennessee can D you up. Now there's times
wear you down.
In their history as of late, that they can't score to save their life.
Oh.
But I mean, there were times where in the same possession, Tennessee had 2 blocks. And I mean, you wouldn't think they'd come back with a second one, but Lord, they did. So that is an incredible defensive team.
Yeah, they really shoved up Florida big time. Pat, when you you didn't have many losses like that. When you lose like that first, not so much the plane ride home, but that first, I guess maybe, I don't know if they met yesterday, which was Sunday, or Monday as a team. When you're sitting there as a player and coach is coming in for the first time since that ass whipping, not the locker room, not the ride home, do you expect to get chewed, or do you expect the coach to say, hey, man, we're just going to burn this tape, man?
I think there's always an expectation you're going to get chewed out.
Yeah.
It's necessary. I think it's necessary.
At times or every time? Or?
I think it's necessary.
Yeah.
You know, after you really want your guys thinking a lot on, you know, how they just gave up.
Did you have any bad losses? I mean, at Florida, I don't think you had any
at
bad.
Florida, no, never at Florida.
No, y'all didn't get routed. In high school, you did?
No, yeah, I'm sure I got routed in high school. We routed a lot of people when I was at Paxton or Providence.
Yeah,
we routed everybody.
Yes.
I could have had so many more points if Coach Martin didn't sit me down.
Nice. Well, he did something. Hey,
we need to rest you for the playoffs.
He did something right because he sent your ass to the McDonald All-American game where only the best of the best go to Chicago, for God's sakes. How cool was that game, man, to play in?
That was cool. Cool experience. I still remember it.
Man alive. Brent Beaird, a couple of topics before we take a break. Keep you around. And we can bounce between basketball and football. Boy, I saw an interesting stat today around college football. Division I, I'll call it, the big boys.
Yeah.
It said, as of right now, there have been 48 offensive coordinator movements, if that's fair. Firings, hirings, sometimes guys elected. Chip Kelly elected to leave, But there's been 48, if you're talking about different movements, offensive coordinator position, FBS level. And not one of those 48 was out of Gainesville, Florida.
No.
Brent, he thinks he's got to figure it out, I guess. He's not going to make a move, is he, Napier?
How much of this is the thought process of Napier, and how much of this is DJ Lagway saying, you're my guy, and that's all I need and want?
Maybe.
I think that may be about 60-40 Lagway, frankly.
Yeah. Pat, would you want to have that kind of sway if you were the star and Lagway's the star? Would that be pressure? Would you want that much sway of being able to name your coach, basically, because you're such a big star on big man on campus?
If I really believed in everything that he was about,
fair enough.
Absolutely.
That's a good answer.
Yeah,
that's a good answer. And I mean,
I believe this wasn't some guy that was going to change my whole.
That's a great answer.
Style of play. And I think DJ had some success in learning this offense a little bit.
Yeah.
So
and obviously the relationship between DJ and Napier is strong because Napier pulled him out of Texas, and Florida was not rock bottom, but there wasn't a lot to like around the Florida football program 3 years ago.
They got him early, man.
Yeah,
they got to him early.
They did. And he stayed strong. But Brent, there wasn't a lot to like around the Florida program.
Can you believe that he's not in the top 10 for Heisman favorites?
Yeah, depends on what you're looking at. I think some of them he is.
Oh,
by the way,
yeah,
y'all will find this incredibly ironic, but signing day is Wednesday.
Yeah, how about that?
That is ironic.
And out of the top 100 players, there's one that hasn't committed or signed. One.
Do you know who it is and what position?
Yeah. He's an offensive tackle. I'll get his name in a minute.
Okay.
But the point I was going to bring up is one of the guys they're still waiting on to make a decision to go somewhere else is Rashada. All this.
Oh my gosh!
All this angst and all that. Terry, you remember this? All that. He's a great. He's Joe Namath and
well, his name
and Brady combined into one.
Well, the name. Remember, Patrick, 4 years ago, the name Jaden Rashada. I didn't know him, but I follow the list and all. Jaden Rashada's name carried as much weight as DJ Lagway. I mean, that was a big.
It really did.
Everybody wanted him. He went to Miami. He committed to Miami, and then Florida got in there, and that was a big coup when Florida got there. Everybody thought. Remember that, Pat? He was a big name.
Yeah, it was a huge coup. Man, I don't know what to say about this kid and his family and his circle. It just seems as though they've made some poor decisions for that young man's future.
And help me, guys. His clock is ticking.
For sure.
And I don't think he came past the everybody got 2 years basically around COVID. They got the year because you only played 10 games instead of 12. So if you played that whole year, that didn't count. And then you got your COVID year, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if Rashada's might have missed all that, and his clock may be ticking, and his 5 to play 4 has got to be coming up soon.
Well, look, yes.
He's got to play first off.
Yeah, but I mean, he's played enough to get. He's played to get his clock ticking. He's redshirted. I don't think he gets 2 more COVID years. I think his 5 to play 4 is getting Brent and his clock going pretty good.
Well, see, that's the thing I was going to say, and Pat mentioned this a few months ago about one other guy. By the way, Ty Haywood, the offensive tackle, is the only unsigned player. Florida State is warm, as they said. It's not hot, but he's warm on their list, whatever that means. But here's the thing with Rashada.
I don't think that works very well in dating.
No, it doesn't.
You're warm on the list.
Now, if you've got Sex Panther as your clone, you can compensate for things pretty quickly. But here's a reality here. I mean, and this is your point for both of you. I mean, his academics have got to be screwed up.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I mean, trying to
because every class doesn't transfer from school to school. It doesn't. Some of them say, "Hey, man, that doesn't meet our economics 101 level, right?" And
right. But see, to Pat's point a minute ago, at some point, I don't care where it is, even if it's a junior college, don't you? If you're Rashada, you've got to go somewhere. Land your butt in a class
and play
for 2 years or so.
Yeah.
Just to let people know that you can still play.
Yeah. I don't care if that's Southern Miss or East Carolina or
absolutely
Texas San Antonio. Have you guys heard the interesting noise coming out of Lincoln? Matt Rule, the head coach for the Huskers.
Yes.
He has come out, and I don't know if he's thought this through. Matt Rule was disappointed last year. He claims that in Nebraska's spring game in April, he said, we lost, and this is him talking, Nebraska lost about 5 guys who I think the reason they left our program was They played in our spring game. Other poaching programs saw them and grabbed them. And, the portal opens up again in April. Yeah. So Matt Rule, it sounds like he's made up his mind. He's saying, I don't think we're going to play a spring game. Why put our players out there on a pedestal and maybe lose them? Well, Nebraska last year had the 4th highest attendance of spring game. They had 60,000 show up, and they always do have a bunch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's a lot of money going directly to your athletic program and a lot of money to the greater Lincoln community.
No doubt. Yes.
I don't know if guys, you can't turn your back on that. It said that on a normal football game, and this is a spring game, Nebraska sees $5 million of revenue come in to Nebraska. Now, they're not going to do that, but you're talking a couple $1 million.
Sure you are.
You can't in this trying time of economics, Pat, you can't turn your back on that, can you?
Absolutely not.
Well,
man, like how true is it? Him just saying that.
I don't know how true that is. Yeah.
Let me translate this, okay? What this means is what Rule really means is my paranoid meter is so high right now that I'm afraid we're going to lose the whole team if we play a spring game. Oh, just come on.
Come on, Matt. I'm with you, Brent.
I mean, for crying out loud. Look, and I'm not. Listen, I'm not being facetious about this. I guarantee you, their coaches, even in the fall, if they could play a game in an empty stadium, they would love that.
Love it.
Oh my God.
But don't you think the Nebraska president, AD, and the mayor of Lincoln, don't they get together and say, hey, man,
absolutely.
Hey, this is Lincoln, Nebraska doesn't have many events that draw 60,000 spending fans on a Saturday, do they, Pat? I mean, it's Lincoln, Lincoln, Nebraska. We're going to stretch this a little bit longer. Boy, Chip Kelly he pushed his hand in, and he reinvented himself. Did you see where Chip Kelly, fresh off the Ohio State national title, offensive coordinator, 1 year, he goes and wins a title. Chip Kelly just took the Raiders OC job, the highest paid OC in the history of the NFL. Boy, he played his cards, and he reinvented himself quickly. I've always liked Chip Kelly.
That man a quarterback.
How about that?
Let's see what he can do.
How about that? I've always liked Chip Kelly. I've liked watching his offense. I've always liked the guy. Brent?
You know what he's done, and Pat, I bet you say this in some of your speeches. Kelly has realized who he is and what he does best. And for some of us, it takes us a lifetime.
It really does.
To realize
and we may not figure it out. Yep, I'm with you.
But he is. This is like Mike Shula, who's at South Carolina now as their offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Kelly really doesn't want to be a head coach, and really doesn't need to be a head coach. Kelly, Frank, look, Kelly's a guy who would be in the back room, looking at tape, taking notes, and devising the offensive scheme. You don't need Kelly as the face of your team.
And when he did double duty and did it really well, head coach Oregon, and he ran his own offense.
Right.
It was a different game. The workload on a head coach was different than the workload now, and he said as much.
That's right.
He said as much when he left UCLA. He goes, "Man, I want to coach football. I don't necessarily want to be the CEO." And Pat, you remember when Kelly was at Oregon? Those were now this is 15, 20 years ago. Those were fun offenses, man.
Well, they were.
And they were ahead of their time. That offense they ran was way ahead of its time. All three. Hey, you guys, hang tight. Let's come back. We'll take a break, and we'll start landing the plane. A couple more topics. Brent, I know you've got some stuff on your notebook. Pat, hang tight. We'll get out of here. Final half hour coming up as we take it to the finish line.
Terry.
You hang tight. You hang tight. Hey, you hang tight. Everybody hang tight. We're back on Action Sports Jacks after this.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Some staff moves have been made. I think Liam Cohen has hired a couple of 2, maybe 3 coaches. Matt Edwards looks like will be the defensive line coach for the Jaguars by way of the Buffalo Bills. He was an assistant DL there. Tim, it looks like Lukabu, I believe is how you pronounce the last name, Lukabu, linebacker coach by way of the Panthers. It appears he was the assistant there. I think they might have hired, and I haven't gotten the name yet, a secondary coach. And, of course, the big news, though, guys, real quick before we get into some more college football and basketball, Tony Baselli named basically the executive vice president of operations, an executive position. Guys, we've broken it down. One area that's going to be interesting to see how Tony handles this, and I know Tony a little bit. We're handshake guys. We're not bosom buddies, but I think we pretty much he lives on his on his cufflink. You kind of know what you get. He's a cordial type A guy with a great personality. He's beloved in this town. But Patrick and Brent, it'll be interesting to see how Baselli handles criticism, because you don't get a front office job in the NFL. Criticism will come with that job. Somehow there will be a pick that he endorsed. There will be a player that he said sign, and he got right. Tony Baselli, I can only think of one area that he has gotten some real criticism here, and we'll talk about that. But Brent, is that a factor? Tony's beloved in this town, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, sure it would be. And look, it's not going to be long. What people still need to understand is this is not a good roster.
No.
And I mean, I know we got the draft and all the rest to solidify your roster, but they're not going to be able to rebuild this thing in a year, and probably you're looking at another year without making the playoffs. To your point, and I think it's a good one. How is he going to handle that when he's speaking and he's out in the public dealing with it? That's going to be a big part of the job.
Patrick, athletes are generally type A, and athletes are aggressive by nature. Tony was an offensive lineman. His personality, I wonder, you're going to get criticism at that level.
It's interesting you say that because, he's still in the public quite a bit.
He's the darling. He's a darling in this town.
And no reason to ever criticize him for, maybe criticize that his teammates around him couldn't get him, more Super Bowl appearances. But now, I mean, he opens the door for the possibility of his legacy being a little stained.
A little tarnished. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It can happen. I'm trying to think worst case scenario if he, does an awful job.
Yeah.
Which I really don't think he would. I think he's going to be fine.
And, when his shoulder went bad, he tried to get one more. The Jaguars made the right move. They let him go at that point. Remember, the shoulder was so bad. Mm-hmm. And the Jaguars, and Tony understood. That was a business decision. And remember, he tried to milk one more year. He signed with the Texans. Remember that? And he really didn't make it through camp. His shoulder just wouldn't go. But you remember, he signed with the Houston Texans and went to their camp. Was only there a little bit. There was a little pushback, but everybody understood he was just trying to get another year. I'm trying to think. I can only think of one instance.
That sucks, man. He felt like he knew he still had more in the tank. He knew
his shoulder.
Everything else was good, just that shoulder.
That shoulder just wouldn't cooperate. Other than that, he got a little pushback, but most fans understood that. Hey, man, if your hometown team doesn't, they're ready to part ways. They shook hands, and he wants to try one more time, right? I don't think that was a big black eye on his public perception in Jacksonville. He had one issue, Brent, you'll have to remember this with me. When Baselli was drafted, he came over here and he was a hot shot, number one pick in the franchise history, a great player out of college, almost a can't miss, left tackle, second player taken. I think the Bengals had the first pick because they traded with the Panthers. They took Kajana Carter. The Jaguars took Tony Baselli, forever ingrained as the first pick ever. And Baselli got here on the East Coast. Now, keep in mind when this was, Patrick. This was the 95 draft going into the 95 season. Remember, college football ruled in the 90s here.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State, Florida, and Miami. And Brent, you'll remember, Baselli got here, and USC wasn't real good when he was there. They were 500. Right. He got here, and Tony was blown away by the college football thing down south, right? Brent, you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
He had some disparaging comments about Gator Nation and how fervent. And, man, I can't. Hey, the NFL team, man, the college is, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but this college stuff is cute, you Gator fans, but, man, this is the NFL. Who cares about right? And do you remember that, Brent? He had a little back and forth for a couple of years. Gator Nation was mad at him, and a lot of Gator Nation was jacked. That's about the only thing he's had here.
Yeah, it is, and I'm sure that.
You remember that, Brent?
Oh, yeah. It's probably forgotten by now, but yeah.
That was when Spurrier was there?
Well, yeah, like the heyday of Spurrier, Bowden, Miami.
Yes.
And he came here, and I think he was blown away by the passion of Southern. And the epicenter of college football was right here in the state of Florida.
Yeah, because you don't get that and you didn't get that in Southern Cal.
No,
you don't get that today in Southern Cal.
You don't get that. No. And he made some Gator Nation got up in arms, and Gator Nation was a lot of Jaguar Nation. Mm-hmm. And remember, it took him a couple years to smooth that over. A couple of years.
Imagine if social media was around when that
Oh,
happened.
Oh man. Really?
But it'll be interesting to see how Tony handles.
Right.
And he's a grown man. His kids are grown. He's 52 years old. I think Tony Baselli understands that it's not going to be all sugar and spice, and there's going to be a media guy that calls you out. There's going to be fans that call you out at times because, like anybody, everything you decide isn't going to be the right decision. And if your fingerprint's on it, you know.
I mean, he won't be in the spotlight as much as the head coach will be.
Yeah.
So that's always going to be helpful.
What do you think? Liam Cohen doesn't have a lot of panache. Young coach. I would imagine Cohen got consulted a little bit, guys.
Yeah.
But I don't think if Cohen said, I think Shad Khan said, "Hey, I'm bringing this guy on." Cohen. That's a pretty big shadow to be 2 offices down, isn't it, Brent? Tony Baselli.
Oh yeah. Oh sure it is.
I mean, he's 52. You're 39. You're the head coach, but he's the Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Well, and I still think part of Tony's unwritten job description is Tony is to put out a few fires early. If Cohen and that staff make some mistakes, I think I think some of that unwritten job description would be to calm some people down. If they're 2-7 in the first year or something, something of that nature. Does that make sense?
And that's your guy to send out into the trenches.
That's what I mean.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
He's your guy. I'll tell you another thing. Thank goodness that Tony, who's been away from the game now in terms of a player, his playing days, it's been a long time now. He's been gone, 15 years or more? 52, 42. Yeah, he's been gone pushing 20 years now. Thank God he didn't have any coaching tree experience because that's the last thing I would want is Tony Baselli coming to a front office position if I'm Liam Cohen. And he was the offensive line coach for the Jets for 4 years. You'd feel like, is that my successor in case I don't do well? 2 offices down, right? I can see him feeling like that a little bit, Patrick. If thank God Baselli doesn't have any coaching in his background right now. Whew.
I don't know. I think knowing Tony and seemingly how desperate you must be to take the Jaguar job. I think those guys are just going to have a great relationship where they're just trying to get this thing figured out. No headspace to think that way for these guys.
Or what if
you're turn this organization around? They don't have the headspace for that.
Or what
if they do, they ain't gonna last.
What if you're Cohen's? I don't think he's named one yet, has he? Are you going to have a little pressure if you're the offensive line coach? And your line's giving up sack after sack, and there's a Hall of Famer up there looking over the Miller Electric, looking at a Miller Electric practice facility. Yeah,
it's very possible. Very
all right,
possible.
Brent.
I can side with you on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Brent, anything we're missing? College football, basketball? How about Arkansas going into Lexington Saturday?
Oh, yes.
What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, ESPN's at Duke and Carolina. That's low-hanging fruit. They really should have been in Arkansas or Kentucky for the Arkansas-Kentucky game because
it was the biggest off-season story.
It was, and that's all they talked about the whole day long. If you're going to talk about that the whole day long, have game day there.
And and North Carolina's not having a year to command game day. The shame was, and I know the game was terrible, but the biggest game of the day was Florida Tennessee. I mean, ranked teams going at it. That was, but Tennessee had game day the week before, so they really didn't want to go back to back, and the game was terrible. We didn't.
Yeah, they did the right thing not going to that one.
Yeah, they definitely did. Brent, Auburn and Alabama still play twice. They've yet to play.
They do.
They get together twice here in the last 3.5 weeks.
Auburn, listen.
That they did that in the schedule.
Woo.
Oh yeah, I tell you that. They play the Saturday after Valentine's Day, And Pat probably knows they play the last game of the season.
Last game of the season, one home, one away. Yeah.
Bama's last
that might
three.
be a championship game.
Look, Alabama-Auburn may play 4 times this year.
That might,
they could.
yeah.
They could.
That one right there, that might be the championship game, that final regular season game.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that this year's Auburn team. There's a lot of guys that were on the team last year, right? There's still Baker Mazard and Broom, and
like four or five.
Four guys on that Auburn team that play a lot. That played a lot last year. That Auburn team was one and done last year. 4-13. They got beat opening round by Yale, for God's sake.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
And most of those guys are back, and Auburn's clearly the best. We've seen them all. If everybody,
did they have a star last year?
Broom.
Outside of him.
Okay. Yeah.
I know Katie Johnson was still there.
Chad Baker Mazzara was a good player.
That was his first year.
Yeah.
At Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dude, now he plays 10 guys.
Oh, yeah. And listen, in that Ole Miss game, Ole Miss will get close.
I thought Auburn was going to lose that.
And then Auburn would come down.
I didn't doubt for a second.
Brent, you're right. I picked Ole Miss. I thought that had upset written all over it. And Ole Miss would get within 3 or 4, and Auburn made every play. Every play.
They did every basket.
They are good.
Now look, the team that I want to mention real quick, and I'm curious what Pat thinks about them. Who in the world would have thought Missouri would be 17-4 and 6-2? This Caleb Grill, does not miss from 3. Pat,
my buddy told me.
How in the world?
My buddy predicted it when Missouri was like 0-12 last year. In the middle, he said, "Hey, they're letting this year go because they know he's got a really good recruiting class coming in, and they really believe in Dennis Gates."
Yeah.
I was impressed as hell with that roster that rolled into Gainesville a couple weeks ago. Yeah. I thought they had a good roster. They had
a lot of guys I've never even heard of sometimes, but
I'll tell you one thing. Speaking of Grill at Missouri and Bria at Kentucky, and there's one more I'm forgetting. I'd like to send those guys to the NBA All-Star Weekend and let them shoot. Those guys can shoot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, I've got to ask this question to Pat because Terry and I got into this the other day, and it is a real problem in the SEC.
Oh.
And Pat, last week we had maybe 4 or 5 examples of games.
Oh, don't talk about replay.
But here's the bottom line: it is taking 20 minutes on average to play the last minute to minute and a half of games. I was watching that the other night. I was watching. And let me put these two together. I was watching Bama, Mississippi State. Should have been over at 11. It was over at 11:37. They go straight to you guys. And listen, I felt for Dory. Dory was out of his mind at that point. Being very
he was so angry.
You could tell it. But Pat, Terry and I talked about this. Is there anything they can? Is there anything that can be done to stop this stuff? Because it is really
it's choking the life out of college basketball.
It really is.
The reviews, and they'll have 8 or 9 a game.
Dari was like, "Oh, they got Pat Adams. He's probably already coached 7 games today."
Oh my God, that guy!
Yeah,
he's a mess. But Patrick, you were traveling. Brent brought in off of his notes. He referenced, and Brent, if you remember him, jump in.
Yes,
Brent. There were 3 games you referenced in your notes, and I'm going to be very close to the time. Okay, and I'm not going to hit it. One of those SEC games last week, the final minute 19 took 20 minutes of real time. 1 minute and 19 seconds took 20 minutes of real time. Brent, you had one of them that the final 49 seconds of game time took 16 minutes of real time.
Yeah.
Pat, it was ungodly, and I think I sat through every one of the damn things.
Yes.
It is choking the life out of. They've got to do something in the offseason. 49 seconds took 16 minutes of real time.
And you know what's funny? I was hoping that Brent was just like being hyperbolic.
No, Brent, tell him. Step in, Brent.
I'm like CBS and TNT, like they'll never. Like, have you noticed they never show a stat like that on TV?
Yeah,
no,
right.
No.
Because they don't want you to think about.
And Pat Adams, that guy, he's the worst. He loves going to the sideline and talking.
Oh, yeah.
Brent, did I hit those numbers pretty close? Right?
Yeah, that was pretty close. And see, Pat, the other problem with this is the other thing that Terry and I talked about is these coaches are such control freaks that they coach these players all week long. They've got them how many hours that they've got them, and then they get into a game and they can't trust them to run a play.
Every dribble, they scream something, Pat.
Yeah. Every dribble they've got to control.
Pat, it's like, I mean, these are college guys. A lot of them are close to the NBA. Patrick,
which teams do you think
college basketball across the board? You watch a college game tonight. The head coaches are standing up on offense. Move here, go there, pass, move. It's like they don't, dude, these guys are 20, 21, 22. They know how to play. They coach every dribble, Patrick. Every dribble they're screaming.
Every coach is like that.
I'll bet you 8 out of 10 of them aren't they, Brent? They coach.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing.
Every dribble, they're screaming at their team. It's like they know how to play.
And if they've got them, they've got to call 3 in the last minute of the game.
Oh man!
Instead of trusting their players to run the right play, and see that's a part of this too. And then we've got to go review the plays. The coach has got to call timeout. Look, I don't know if they realize for the typical viewer what a problem this is.
Brutal.
And you guys in the studio watching this, that's got to be brutal, is it not?
It's got to kill you, Pat. It's got to just drive you nuts. You're like,
yeah, for sure.
Because game gets down to the final 5 minutes. You sit down. You might still have your lapel mic on, but you get settled. You're ready to go. There's 5 minutes left. That 5 minutes is going to take 24 minutes.
Sure it is.
Of real time. Pat, here's the other thing. We got 3 minutes left. I railed on this. This drives me crazy watching college basketball. And you've got to tell me what is talked about. Every dead ball, watch tonight, every dead ball in men's college basketball in particular, the teams huddle up for about 4 seconds. What the hell do they say? They huddle up 150 times. They huddle up, Patrick.
Yeah.
150.
Well, that's how I feel about volleyball.
Yeah, they do the same thing. Volleyball does the same thing. Every point, volleyball comes together. It's about what do they say? 100. They do it 150 times a game, Patrick, in basketball.
Just trying to stay connected. The guys are
what
trying
do they say? Connected. And they're there for 4 seconds.
Just saying, hey, stay locked in. Just something of positivity.
It'll drive you nuts. It drives me crazy.
Well, but Pat, aren't they also reminding them how many timeouts are left, and they're reminding them who to foul? If you got to foul somebody,
I don't think what I'm talking about is when they huddle up at the free throw line. They all not on the sideline.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm talking about when they huddle up. There's a ball just got knocked out of bounds. They huddle up.
Right.
Guy gets fouled. They huddle up at the free throw line. Guy takes his first free throw shot. They all huddle up.
Yeah.
They huddle up 150 times on the court a game.
Huddle up.
What the hell do they say, Patrick, in those huddles?
Really?
Huddle up. They say huddle up in the huddle.
Yes. Huddle up. I don't know. All right, boys, we'll get together tomorrow. We're at Hurricanes tomorrow, and we're going out of bounds. We didn't go out of bounds today with our buddy Mike Freed. We take it out of bounds tomorrow. Pat, have you been part of the out of bounds yet? You haven't been part of the out of bounds.
No, I have not.
My buddy Mike Freed, we do the lighter side of sports. He's a comedian here in town. We've been having fun, Pat. We've been having a lot of fun.
He's get you giggling on the show.
I'm funny, man. I'm funny. Pat, I am funny.
Looking
funny. I'm telling you, with that sense of humor, and that jacket, and that scarf, and that Sex Panther cologne.
And it's Valentine's Day almost Valentine's Day.
Oh, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. And then my birthday's the day after that.
Woo!
Pucker up out there.
Hey, man.
I'm saying that to the ladies, man.
Don't be okay. Keep it to yourself.
All right, boys.
I gotta wipe my cheek off for some reason.
Yeah, do that. Hey, Pat, man, you're in town tomorrow. How about that? You're in town tomorrow and Wednesday.
It's gonna be nice. Need some rest.
That'd be nice. You need some rest. All right, Brent Beaird, I think we covered everything. That's about it. You got anything? 1 minute. Brent, anything? We're good.
We'll certainly pick it up. Ryan Grubb is the new OC at Alabama.
By way of Washington?
Yeah. Well, he was, remember, he was with the Seahawks, and then he got fired from the Seahawks. And we can talk about this more this week, but he and Kalen DeBoer have worked together and been very successful together, so that will make a big difference in Alabama.
30 seconds left. Do you guys realize in about 2.5 weeks, not a bunch, but a few schools will start their spring football practice. Some of them start late February because they want to be done before spring break. That'll do it for that guy and Casey producing. I'm Terry Norvelle. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll get together tomorrow, 4 o'clock. The Young Norvelle Show coming to you live tomorrow from Hurricane Julington Creek.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding with Bold City Heating and Air. It's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bolt City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bolt City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.